quite draining. Oof.
Yep. That's why I want to do as much as I can today.
It's perfectly reasonable.
Yep.
And what? It's only 7 p.m. now, so you're good.
Yeah. Just trying to make good with my time. See, see, there's wheelbase. Now I just need to find some way to, some intuitive way to rotate it.
Oh, it totally does look egg. I love it.
Egg.
You know what would make this thing even worse? Is if you could attach it to other
Why?
enemies.
Please no. Oh, please no.
Like,
I don't think.
Vertus, an RNA cannon instead of a regular cannon on its face. And then the little star flounder has an RNA cannon. And then the lantern has an RNA cannon on both sides, like dual pistols. And it shoots in whichever direction it wants.
I don't think the world is ready for that, and I
I
don't think
mean-
you're ready for that either.
I mean, that would make for good boss material, like fake boss material.
Or already have that, though, don't we?
Still, like it'd be nice to have a bit of variety.
Yeah. You could make, like, a bootleg mini boss out of that. Like, okay, you have to defeat all of these weird enemies to proceed. I mean, to complete the level. And it's like a little bootleg boss gauntlet of all these little weirdos in different rooms with torturous arenas surrounding them. Hey, y'all wanted a boss rush mode, right? Well, here you go. This is exactly what you didn't want. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, Lord. So, yeah. I hope Rocket's proud of how I've mutated this thing. It's going to be so much worse than I anticipated.
I mean,
The only thing that'd make it worse is if I gave it, like, chicken legs instead of wheels. But we're not going to go that far.
okay, no. Now we're going a bit. Now we're going a bit crazy cat town.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Lazy Town.
Oh, well, we went way past Crazy Town and into Stupid Town.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
What would the theme song of the quote unquote evil villain be of that? Instead of "We are number one," "We are number stupid."
What about
Awesome.
number fish?
Is there like an actual theme in the show?
Number fish. I mean, I haven't watched Lazy Town in a while, so
Me neither.
Oh, Lord. I don't know if I ever watched it.
but it is kind of funny. Like once you get around the puppet style for most of the characters.
Well, I used to watch a lot of shows involving puppets, so I'd be pretty well in my comfort zone there.
Yeah. They do look pretty lifeless, though, so it will look pretty weird.
See, oh, see.
Hey, like man, if Muppets were still around this day and age, around when I was growing up, I'd be all over it.
I mean, those kinds of puppets are pretty fun, but
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I freaking loved Sesame Street as a kid.
I didn't, surprisingly. I was more into Teletubbies for whatever reason.
You poor soul.
I mean, you can say you poor soul, but instead just go, you like Teletubby. Excuse me?
I mean, you're a kid. You would like just about anything.
Yeah, except the boring stuff usually, and
Well, of course. Still.
like I was at the point where a lot of children's shows that would just ask the viewers, "What is this thing?" I would answer it in 2 seconds, and then it would just okay, basically Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, I was about to mention
Uh,
that. This is exactly what
oh,
Dora did.
and it would take so long until the fun stuff would happen.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, like, my standard was Blue's Clues, pretty much,
Same.
I love
and
Blue's Clues.
like it would still. I used to, yeah, I loved it too. And then they stopped airing it at some point. And I was like really, really sad.
Oh.
But then later, SpongeBob was starting to appear on my TV, on cable TV, and I was happy.
I'm not sure when they started airing it because, like, I'm the youngest here.
SpongeBob started airing in
Uh,
1999, so imagine how much older a lot of those kids' shows are.
That was time of Blue's Clues.
oh,
Yeah,
Blue's
so
Clues. I don't know.
I predated SpongeBob by quite a few years, so it's pretty old.
SpongeBob started airing around 2001 here, so
Yeah, it was 1999 for
I
the
definitely
US.
remember.
Yeah. I guess after about a couple of years, they're like, hey, this show is doing really well. Why don't we bless the German people with it?
I mean, yeah, naturally.
This will take quite a while, and the thing is, I kind of still like the German dub.
Oh.
Like, it's really good, for one, compared to many other shows. But also just the English voice of SpongeBob is way more annoying than I originally thought. But at the same time, after listening to it more, I'm now used to it. So yeah, but Patrick is perfect. Patrick is pretty perfect.
Yes.
Squidward, he's way more relatable in the English dub, in my opinion. Like his voice is way better in English.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but here's the thing, though. When you're a kid, you like SpongeBob more and Squidward less. When you're an adult, you like Squidward more.
Yes.
It's always the case.
Well, actually, well, that's not entirely true. I always kind of related with Squidward in a way. Like sometimes even SpongeBob annoyed me way more than any other character. And I
Yeah.
was like, God, poor Squidward.
Like I've always liked SpongeBob, but as I get older and older, I relate to Squidward more and more.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this little guy's already ready to be slapped into the game. Oh, I haven't drawn his
I
RNA
can't
pattern.
wait.
I need to
Kinda need that.
dig up the concept art that Rocket had for him. So let's go here, concepts folder. I know I dumped his sketch in here somewhere. Or was it in the assets folder? Oh yeah, that's right. Nero was going to be one of the lead characters until we came up with Suvi. That just happened to be in there.
Huh.
Yeah, like she was
Funny
going to
to
be the
know.
one whipping the girls into shape.
I guess she could still be a cameo later
Probably,
on.
but yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna have to take the Discord window off the stream screen and look through the story mode channel because that's where it is. It went in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold on, let me link the thing to you. Uh,
Let's see. So, oh, there it is. Okay. I'm gonna copy the image and paste it as reference image. Oh. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's another idea Rocket had too, was the DNA tank.
of course.
A DNA tank.
And he's
I
gonna sound
mean,
scary.
if it wouldn't,
I like.
as long as the beam is not as big as the tank itself, I would be okay with it. Because if it's only the thing,
Well, it doesn't
yeah,
need to be if it can rotate. Now, does it?
good lord, please.
I mean, it's a tank, you know, it's supposed to be able to rotate and move up and down. Like it. So it could just turn around and shoot you in the face.
Rotate.
Okay, so. Yeah, this little guy's particles are going to be kind of like the DNA cannons, but it'll be like a wave pattern instead. Oh, yeah. Let's see. So, won't be much different from that, but very wavy, as seen over here. So let me copy and paste that. Deselect. Okay. So over here.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's all right. So. Yeah, and I'll need to have the particles animated a bit, so it's just kind of shrinking, pulsating up and down, even in place.
Ooh.
So this is a bit of an idea of what it'll look like. It probably won't have that much of a hitbox that's any bigger than the DNA cannon. It'll just be visually distinct from it.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes for less damage, but more often, you said, right?
Yeah, it would fire more frequently, but it'd be less damage. Oh, Krita lets you move selections now. That's nice. It didn't used to do that. That is very nice.
Oh, I did that a lot. Uh,
Well, I mean, like,
like
you know, moving the
whenever
actual
I
selection box around. Yeah. So, okay.
I've noticed that a lot recently. And in general, I really, really like Krita now.
Yeah,
Like, I even use it at my job now to photo edit stuff.
well, that's good.
Used to use GIMP, but GIMP just makes my laptop melt. So Krita
That's
actually doesn't.
that surprises me because GIMP is much lighter on memory than Krita is, but it also isn't very nicely hardware accelerated either. So, yeah. All right. Gonna go ahead and copy this little guy. As soon as I can get the selection to be exactly within certain boundaries. There we go. I see it. Going to enemies. a new folder. RNA cannon. Our first brand new enemy. Oh boy. Erase the color. There we go. Also, there's like 1 pixel down there. Need to get rid of that. This size is just a tiny bit unconventional, but that's okay. Okay, I need to look at the DNA cannon real quick to see, like... Okay, then have...
Oh.
This at 7... 0. Okay, that... Wait, no. Needs to be in the center. What? No, it won't rotate right if I do that. So yeah, 15 ought to be a good origin point for the sprite. That way when it mirrors itself and turns around, it won't look wrong. Oh, forgot to put it in the right texture page. Characters. Cannon, anything special that you do? Okay, it just has a flashing warm-up stage. Nothing special. And we don't need a base station because the base is the wheels that are already attached to it. It's not going anywhere. I will need to animate the wheels a tiny bit though. Just a tiny bit. Be like that little Uni Racers game, if anybody remembers that.
I know what you're talking about. I've never played it, but I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, I got to play it for like maybe 2 minutes when I was a kid, and I wish I could have played more. It looked like a lot of genuine fun.
Yeah, because it's a stupid rare game these days. Because apparently legal issues were involved with it.
Yeah. Yeah, Pixar was like, no, we made a little animation about unicycles, therefore we have a copyright on unicycles. You can't exist anymore. Haha.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, people did the research and it was
That
like,
is stupid.
yeah, I don't think it would do Pixar's reputation any good if people in general found out about that. It is very bad.
I believe it's another thing.
To no one.
Just the animation industry and now this.
See, so get rid of this one. That one. This one, that one. Okay, so it's got a little pulsing pattern there on the bottom.
Oh.
It's probably just using magnetism to move around instead of wheels. Who knows? Then, okay. Also want to make these arrows do stuff. So, two up here. Oh, whoops. Wrong frame.
Wrong brain. Oh, frame. Yeah, it's my brain sure is getting things wrong right now.
Oh, yeah, it'd be a good idea if, like, kept some more arrows coming. Oh yeah, they're already intersecting, so just gonna let them do that. So 1, 2, 3. Let's just see how that looks. Release 12, 18. Okay, it's cycling a bit funny that way, so let's fix that. Go. No, I just accidentally duplicated a frame that way. Yeah, no, that's no good.
Oh.
So we got that. That. Then this here. Oh, that's not consistent either.
Hope you don't mind me being a bit more quiet right now, because I'm getting tired.
That's alright.
I'm just focusing on Pit Lord and myself.
Okay, I'll just make that the pattern for now. It looks consistent enough to matter.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be good enough. So, now I need a version of the cycle where it's warming up. That'll be pretty simple. It just needs to flash. Oh, okay. Which means another copy of the animation where 2 of the frames are just brighter than the other. Although this is an opportunity to have like a cycling color here. So what I could do is like make this white, this regular purple. Then make this column white and that normal. Then make this white. But more colors than that need to be cycling, so probably do is have this also light up. That. So, oh yeah, this part of the cannon could also stand to be lighting up too. Needs to be as visually distinct as possible that yes, something is about to go down here. Yeah, I think I'll make the orange part flash too. That's pretty important. But have it do that on a... No, I can't do that because then it won't seem to flash as often as the rest. So make all this go completely white. Then, okay, what else could flash? Yeah, I think that's a good enough warning that something's about to go down. And then one more warm-up animation where it's just kind of like where its head is squished back a little bit so you can tell that something's about to go down. Just the same as the other animation, but go and let's crumple this up a bit. So how can I do that in a way that makes sense? That might work. So Oh god. Wrong key there. Oh yeah, that's quite a difference. I can also morph the immediate area around him too. Now, let's copy, paste this head around. Just happened. Okay, there we go. So, got this here. Now we need this animation to also flash white. Yeah, it's not quite as big of a crumple as the real DNA canon. I'll probably fix that as I go along. Okay, so it's just gonna have to be something that I note. There we go. And okay. So probably go ahead and compile it into the new texture page. That way I can just code with it and test it out as I work on it. Okay. All it needs to do is recompile the textures, the characters texture page, and it'll just load up. So, got that. Yeah, my arm's a little sore from when I was using that thing earlier, but thanks to the pillow, that's a little bit better. Okay, there we go.
Wait, hello on what?
I put a pillow on my chair so that control both with breast fire.
Okay.
With that in mind, the DNA cannon, RNA cannon rather, should be ready to play around with. I'll probably make it like a copy of the DNA cannon, but allow it, basically give it code to move around with as I go. Would that be the best approach here? Probably. Because, yeah, it is very hard to code the particles for that thing, so it would be nice to just take the existing object and modify the modulation of the beam from the base code. A lot easier. Enemy sprites. So, that in mind. I may need to give it less health too, so. Okay.
Anything to make it. Never mind. I mean,
yeah, I don't want it to be a nightmare to fight, because, like, this thing already does a lot of damage, so. Okay, okay.
It's only fair.
Okay, we're gonna reduce its 20 HP to 10. So it's just like a baby DNA cannon. You can kill it in a couple of hits instead of like
that
5.
sounds really nice, actually. That sounds perfectly reasonable.
Which means
Baby
I need
cannon.
to rescale the modifier for the HP bar a little bit. I programmed health bars and this thing's a little funny, so okay, say like the HP was 50, you'd the health bar itself is like 50 pixels wide. You divide that by the HP, and then you get the multiplier that you add at the end. So 10. Okay, oh yeah. So 50 divided by a 10. Okay, that makes the modifier 5 instead of 2.5. That's pretty simple. That means it will take twice as long for the health bar to scale down. That makes sense. I should have thought of that with simple addition in my head, but I wanted to be sure I got it right. And yeah, the health bar might need to go like 20 pixels ahead of the thing instead of behind. So, oh yeah, it doesn't have a base like the DNA cannon does, so that makes things a little simpler.
Right.
I feel okay about showing enemy code because it's like nothing like the player code, which is the important part that people would like to steal for their own Freedom Planet bootlegs. So I'm okay showing this stuff at least.
Yeah.
Okay, DNA
Fair.
base. Yep, don't have to show that either. Wait a minute.
That's it. Feel free to send those codes to me so I can make my own free plan game.
Yeah, might want to wait a little bit until the core of the thing is a little bit better. Like, I don't want it to be a complete monster to work with. Even though it is one of a kind, it's still a bit of a monster. So, oh yeah, I don't need to determine that anymore. That's good. ghost. Yeah, I shouldn't need to offset the position of the ghost either. The DNA cannon's drawing's a little funny because, well, it has gravity and has to align with the grid, so I screwed up on a couple of things. Okay, then DNA. Oh yeah, we need an inverted version of the sprites so you can tell if the character was hit. Pretty psychedelic looking. Okay, so RNA can invert it. Also be in there. So no special offsets. Point in rectangle. Oh yeah, that's the rectangle for the cursor when you're in editor mode. That way, like, if the cursor's within the position of the enemy's sprite mask, it knows, like, hey, the cursor is hovering over me, I need to animate and do stuff. So that's really important. All these offsets will probably be wrong, but I'm not going to mess with them just yet. And, oh yeah, I need to give it its own projectiles, that's right. Or do I? Oh yeah, that's right, these things already wobble, so I don't need to change them. I just need to change their pattern. Unless I wanted to give it a very cursed recolor.
What kind of curse?
Like the same kind of colors that you see when Mila is getting mutated. Okay, first I'm gonna invert
okay.
colors.
Oh,
Oh. All I had to do was invert it. That's
that was
perfect.
expected. Oh, geez. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, that looks about right. RNA projectiles. Turn those D's into R's. This isn't very elegant because I can't make it into a while loop. Because, like... Oh, wait, I could. I was just lazy. I'll do that later. Yeah, these can be a loop because it's all iterating in a very linear fashion. Like, there's no special offsets attached to any of these things. It's just... So yeah, I'll fix that later, because that's just gross looking, to be fair. So...
Yeah, I think my teacher would look at this and be like, "What are you doing?" Can probably...
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm not good at programming, but my teacher would still be like, "Can't you, like, shorten this somehow?"
Yeah, you have to be able to shorten it in a way that doesn't affect performance, but if you're already having to draw 30 sprites, then a while loop's not going to make any meaningful change in that, so... Still going to take up the same amount of performance time. I just try to be a little careful. Being X sim factor. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I think everything in here should be swapped out correctly. The next big part will be just making it move around. And making all of its projectiles also come out of the correct part of the enemy, because right now these projectiles are probably going to fire from its butt instead of its front, given the current offset. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. And I'll need to make like a little tiny section for it in the editor before I can even spawn it in, because I don't like having a bunch of random temporary keyboard shortcuts that can screw me over later. I just don't like it. So we'll give this another couple minutes or less to add the inverted and RNA cannon projectile sprites. Oh yeah, also need death particles, so like pieces of it fly off when you blow it. Well, now come to think of it, the size of the enemy is so small, it doesn't really need that. You could just have it explode and die like the Star Flounder. Because yes, it does have an exploding death. I think I'll show it on stream for anybody who might have missed that little detail before. Make sure I got this on the screen. There we go. It's going to turn off the music. So if you place the Star Flounder above water, he gets very sad.
Sad flounder. Don't do this.
Very sad. Okay. Now
I mean, you're
this.
making yourself feel awful. Delete this.
You could.
I have killed
game.
Why would you do
so
this to those poor flounders?
I can't feel anything anymore.
Even after you made this sad thing.
Yeah. I was laughing when I got it working. Like, after you kill Carol and Mila.
To be fair, I would too.
I was laughing when I came up with the idea. I was like, I gotta do this. Just got to. Okay, this code is also not essential for the exact operation of the Freedom Planet character, so that's also okay to show on stream. And, oh yeah, here's where I got the enemies, so. Okay, this is row 2. I think I filled up row 2 already. Let's be sure. No, I haven't. I think there's... No, that's right, like... Yeah, here we go, like... That would stop at 2:30. Okay, so yeah, row 2 is completely used up, so let's start row 3. Let's see. DNA cannon. Let's see, so... I'm gonna put it on 32, 96, that spot. And then I also need to have the editor look at this part too. Okay, I would need to check row 3 for enemies. Okay. So if you're on subpage 2, which we use for enemies, then display mode 1. SPR RNA cannon. Also write up the description here too. RNA cannon. And that will give me that result. Then I need to go up here to the spawn code. And this ugly switch statement looks at the sprite that's been selected by the cursor and decides what to spawn based on that. It doesn't store the ID of the object itself, that's just silly. A cannon. Okay, now we should be able to place the thing. And let's see how poorly that goes. Because things will go wrong. Because I just copy pasted an object and put new sprites on it. Some things will not look right, but we don't know which things won't look right yet. We'll see.
I'm excited.
You're about to see things go wrong in real time, people.
Oh boy.
This ought to be fun. Let's use
I want to say this is the fun part.
I'm gonna use Proto to be background noise. Won't move yet. Well, that's stretch flying. Oh lord, there's already something on there. Okay. Well, it came out of the wheel instead of the box.
Oh.
Okay, so we got
Yeah, okay.
health bar is not drawing correctly at all. Let's see if we can hurt it. Yeah, that's not right.
I think it's already just using the same sprite that the offset is wrong. Or rather, not the sprite, but
That's not exactly an issue, because, like, oh yeah, I need to include
It's sort of the same position as a DNA cannon would be.
yeah.
like, I'm thinking the collision code is probably looking too far down, because their offsets are, no, wait. Yeah, it is looking some distance from the ground, because look at this offset here. That's in the middle of the sprite. Whereas the offset
Right.
here
Yeah.
is practically out on its wheel, so we already got issues there. So I need to have the tile scanners looking much closer to its butt. Or its wheels, rather. Silly me. So...
Butt wheel. It's egg wheel, actually.
You don't need to make sense when you're a bunch of treadmills. Or treads, rather. So, where is the collision code? I need to look for it. Oh. Yeah, well, there's sloped collisions right here. Oh. I just left the floor collision code right there. 44 pixels down. Wow. Don't need to do that now, do we? We really don't. So now it should clip correctly to this. Go. Got that. And floor center. Okay, yeah, that's good. Capture ID. Okay, we got that. Okay, it's one less problem. But, like, I need to figure out... Let's look at the sprite again, determine how far up the particles should be coming. So, okay, according to GameMaker, they should start at 50 pixels out from this, and maybe start at 11 pixels. It's not too bad. So, yeah, and these offsets are centered good. Don't have to mess with that. And, oh yeah, the spring sensor also needs to be modified. There we go. And oh yeah, if the DNA cannon were to hit the floor after bouncing off of the spring, it will instantly die. So its HP goes to negative 10,000 and it dies. Just a fun fact. If you were to drop the DNA cannon onto a diagonal spring and it falls to the floor, well, you're gonna break it. It's very delicate, you see. So.
Yes, the big, seemingly bulky machine is actually a little delicate class sweetheart that just screams at you.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so need to make these firing warm-up particles 50 pixels out. But the random range needs to be higher up. So like it starts at 11, but the sprite is like 47, like about 30 pixels up from the start. So we'll assume it can go 16 pixels down from that position. So about I'll just see what it looks like in the game first. Okay, and this is the spawner for each individual projectile. So I'm going to copy it. Oh, whoops. Nah, finger gymnastics are too crazy here. Here we go. Oh, whoops. Okay. So we have this here. 50 pixels out, and they're all assumed to have one particular range that's defined, a particular height. So now, because like the projectiles can't operate inside of one state at a time, like the projectile code is separate from that. And as you can see, there's a lot going on with collisions for each of these things. This is just a loop to control all 30 of them, so it's not completely hideous. So I can have the exact height of these things start at let's see, yeah, 47. So maybe 20 pixels up from the floor of the sprite. So yeah, 50, 11. Yeah, negative 36 would make sense, I think. We'll have to see. After we get all the offsets sorted out, we can start modifying like the length of the beam and... Oh yeah, I do need to shorten the array. Like it needs to stop at 15 bullets, not 30. Shorter beam, that goes faster. And it doesn't lose much health, so... Be more fun about this stage first. Much better already. Okay, it's mostly the right position. I'm still expecting to be on the board though. Guys, hitbox is
It's like that weird hip. It's like that hip boss meme, only like it's like completely off the rails.
Yeah. So. Yeah, bullet hitbox. Okay, yeah, it's definitely way lower than it should be. So like plus 6. So what if I made it 28 and made that like negative 48 that way? It's definitely gonna hit you. Then oh yeah, and I still haven't sorted out the animation system either, because like, you know, none of the animations are playing as it should be.
Yeah, the DNA kind of is actually mostly static, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an object that has like collectively close to 2,000 lines of code, and it doesn't budge an inch horizontally. It is one of the smartest objects in the game, and it can't do squat. All it can do is yell at the sky. Destructively.
All the intelligence in the world, yet it suffers on the ground.
Yeah. Yet it can't move. But this baby's gonna move. And nobody's gonna like him. Oh yeah, I haven't fixed the drawing of the RNA cannon's HP bar yet. Like, yeah, it needs to be like negative 56 drawn above it. This, I'm guessing, might be correct. I'm not sure. So, what I'm going to do is look at the code for another enemy, like the shark torpedo, and see what its multiplier was compared to the formula. Okay, so it's a multiplier. It's 3.7, but its HP is 14. 50 divided by 14. And we get exactly that value. So, that is in fact correct. I am not doing this wrong.
Ooh. Quick maths.
So, what am I doing wrong here? Trying to think here. Because I know that the value of, like, the less your HP is, the higher that modifier has to be. Oh. Just had one idea. Like, when the creature is respawned in editor mode, like, it's probably restoring too much HP for itself. Let's see if that's the case. Yeah, it's giving itself a whole lot of health back. I need to, like, delete this entire block here because it doesn't serve any purpose. I can just, like, copy the instance and delete this instance, and there will be no memory pile up as a result of that at all. Game makers, studios, latest runners have been really good about not letting objects pile up in memory after you delete them. So, like, yeah, you don't have to do object pooling anymore. That's pretty nice. Like, that used to be a serious problem, to the point that people used an external Delphi library to, like, dump unused memory from the previous RAM into Windows virtual memory on its page file. And you can imagine on a low-end machine that doesn't have much RAM or a very big page file, that's kind of not a good idea. Like, Momodora 4 used that same Delphi extension, and I played it for 5 hours straight without issues, but I had a laptop with 4 gigabytes of RAM, so... And 32-bit applications, I think, as Epps once told me, they don't they're not allowed to use more than 2 to 4 gigabytes of RAM, so the game would have crashed before it used all my memory. Still though, on a computer that had like 1 gigabyte of RAM and 6 hours of playing Momodora 4, it probably would have had issues. But then again, I'm guessing the DLL was just stuck there from, like, legacy versions of Game Maker and wasn't really doing anything anymore in Studio, so maybe it was ineffective. That happens a lot. A lot of old legacy stuff just being carried forward and not doing anything useful, but it's not doing any harm either, so it gets to stay. Some things are just too difficult to untangle. So, yeah. Oh yeah, already corrected the hitbox for this thing. So, I'm looking for our... Yeah, okay. Shit. I forgot what I was looking for in here. I genuinely did. Yeah, that should work. Oh, I feel like a dummy. Like, I don't think, both the health bar and the frame for the health bar were in the wrong positions. It was that simple.
Oh.
Always pay attention to your operators, people. Always.
And that can make a huge difference. Oh, sure. Really. just about everything. You, like the heart of programming.
Yeah, as you can see, yeah, the health bar is right now. It's just it's not drawing in the correct position. It's gonna have to rotate. Now it can start making particles.
Could you I mean, I'm not hearing the noise that it makes. If it makes any noise currently. But would it be possible to like change the pitch of this one to make it like a little bit different from the other one?
That's the idea I had. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. Like, okay, I'm gonna make it
Perfect.
X direction. Wait, I don't know if it's rotating based on that. Let me check first. Draw sprite. X direction plus scale. Okay, yeah, don't have to worry about that. It's, okay, that should fix the position of the health bar. And yeah, I was gonna raise up the pitch of the sound effect. I think I mentioned it earlier today.
I may or may not be passing out in terms of being able to listen just like that anymore.
Okay. That's the DNA cannon's sound effect. So let's change the pitch of it from
high pitch as possible.
No, please not
I'm gonna
higher.
put it on the
Actually,
depressing
I mean, yes.
key. The sad.
Depressed. What? Okay.
The key of E is typically considered like a sad or moody tone. So we'll see if that works. I call it stretching. No. So we can modify like pitch though. Okay. Let's try from C. You think we already have a winner?
Can you post it in the beta channel so I can listen to it without having to?
I like it. I actually like it a lot.
I'm afraid to have the beta
On the
channel
stream.
yeah, so let's okay, let's export as MP3 because that's the easiest thing GameMaker can work with. You can give it OGG files, but it gets kind of pissy about them sometimes. Even though it exports them as OGG files. I don't make the rules here. I just follow them.
Alright.
Let's see. So, still going to consider this a ripped asset because I just literally changed the pitch of the thing from the key of C to the key of E. That's all I did.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could... what would happen if I changed a couple of things, though. Tempo. Then modify the speed ever so slightly. Well, you can't even tell what any of the individual waveforms are trying to communicate. Like it sneezed or something.
Okay, I listened to it for a second. This is terrible.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Ugh.
You've got the baby sound effect, so let's get it in the sound effect folder here.
The baby.
The baby cannon.
Oh no.
Okay. So, ripped assets. There we go. Got uncompressed. Put it in the enemy sound group. Oh, I forgot to rename it, so. Oh. Yeah, thanks for reminding me I can't do that. Let's see, sound. Canon. Now I just got to search and replace the relevant things here. Search and replace didn't want to come up at first. Oh, here we go. RNA cannon. Okay, just want to be sure. Alright, that's the only instance we needed to replace in the code. Now I need to look for yeah, the offsets for the other particles. Specifically these. So like needs to be at a random range that starts at like 40 or negative 30. And negative 30 all the way up to negative 46. Then negative 34 and 50. 38 and 30. 26 and 30. And then 42. Negative 42. Oh, wait, no. It's too high. Here we go. Okay, let's try that again. If everything looks right, now I will need to start cutting down the number of bullets that it spawns down to 15 instead of 30. That's a lot of particles. And oh,
You're doing okay?
yeah, right onto the sword from that poor choice of ergonomics roll.
I slept on my arm recently. That's how life works. Sandbox.
Particles. Better. So, yeah, I kind of think that each heat bar should be like 10 times the direction. So, yeah, there we go. That'll make more sense. Oh, that's why. I did it down here. Okay, those shouldn't be on the floor. Now, if those look right, I'll start cutting down on the number of particles. Because we've got way too many.
I don't know what I just did. And kind of one of again. Somehow it is twice in the folder for some reason, but
Copies. Wow, this is a lot of extra bloat I'm getting to cut out. Explosion.
okay.
Then we have. Oh, you already cut down those. Which now means this thing needs to iterate only 15 times. That one. Let's see if it didn't break anything. That's really important.
Oh boy. Just as you say break something, I did a weird.
Collision.
Can you guess what kind of weird?
So this 10. Jeez. Having to change all of these to 30. I mean, to 15 from 30. Yeah, checking if you should be allowed to even damage the player can be complicated too. And this I could cut.
Understandable.
I could cut this section down entirely thanks to the parenting I've set up for everything now. No reason for it. As you can see, though, DNA cannon kills almost everything instantly. Oh. Item scanning hitbox is still that's much better. Counting on something else to count up to 30. I'll have to check.
Did I miss anything?
Not really.
Okay.
Not yet. I'm just refining
Unless
the
you
thing,
want me.
and it's getting kind of funny. So, 15.
Yeah, I was going for a bit because yeah, call me.
Hmm. Okay. So, let's see what I did wrong to make it forget to shoot after the 15th particle. It's a big oops. Explosion timer. Less than that.
Oh.
Let's see. It does not. 15 else. $15, 30. Yeah, I need to look. These values to see if I didn't screw anything up. Let's look here. Bullet active.
Oh.
Let's see, timer. So, this. Active. Okay, bullet. Oh, I think I might have some idea. Maybe there was a value in the tail end of that switch statement that was getting. So let's go to projects, game maker. Yes, is okay. Objects. It's got an older version of the enemy. Set the language to C# so I can see what I'm doing. case. Oh, yeah, the timer isn't getting reset. That's what case 230 was doing. Okay, now it should be able to fire again. Sometimes you just have to look at what you just got rid of. Let's see if you broke something.
Yeah. Can relate. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Um.
Yeah, that's now it's doing exactly what it should. Very short. Faster. It's already. Let's look at that thing. It's going so fast already.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
That would be impressive.
fine. Can you not even play on it?
That's already died enough.
Screaming everywhere.
Alright, so yeah, just had to restore the timer. And for some reason the characters, let's see, still... No, that should be fine. Just like... Oh, yeah, I knew something was wrong. With the inverted sprite. Yeah, there we go. And nor should you be doing that. Okay. It was drawing 4 pixels into the ground, even when it perfectly clipped into the ground, so can't have it do that. Now, one thing I could have this little thing do differently is fire more frequently, but, you know, given how fast that thing already fires, maybe that wouldn't be fair. So,
Right.
I'm thinking maybe it just being able to move around will already make it a more devastating and irritating enemy to fight. I could, however, at least reduce the damage it deals. Because, you know, given the fact that it can move around, I don't want to be too cruel. So, the damage will do.
Cruelty depends on the person who decides to place 10 of them in the stage.
Yeah, that's true. But you don't want the baseline to already be a nightmare. So, you'll notice that there's like 3 different difficulty levels for damage for each enemy. So, like, that's like the enemy level that the player can set from the options menu, right? So, like, the highest
Oh,
one
right.
is like the highest amount of damage you can do. So, all I have to do is just cut in half the values that are already there, and it won't hurt you as much. Because, you know, again, if the
is
thing's
free
mobile,
the default,
then...
by the way?
Oh, huh?
I never actually tried this, but is the highest level the default?
Yeah, it's the default to reflect Freedom Planet's normal difficulty, and if you want it to
Normal.
get easier and even easier, you have options. So you could leave them at level 3 so that they're as tough as you'd expect them to be, and lower their levels down to like level 2 or level 1, depending on how much you want them to hurt. I feel like, you know, given how much damage enemies typically deal on Freedom Planet, they're already at a very hard level. If you make them start hitting harder than that, it's pretty much going to invalidate the existence of the health bar. Because, like, the DNA cannon on hard mode could basically wipe you out if you didn't have a full health bar. So, like...
Yeah, Mila certainly
So
Great.
so for the general audience, I considered its normal difficulty damage the highest, the hardest difficulty setting you could give it. For that reason, like I want
Yeah.
Freedom Planet to like be approachable, you know, like yeah. So
Maniac Brain decided, no, I want to play this on hard mode. I want to suffer. And I did.
Your brain and my brain think alike. Because that's exactly what I was thinking.
mm,
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly record something that I've discovered about the new options page menu thing. So
mm.
uh, I'll be muted for like 20 seconds.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going. Yeah, it's so on the easiest difficulty, this thing is barely gonna hurt you. But if you want it on normal, it's still gonna hurt a little bit. Let's see how that looks in practice, though. Yep, and there's the little bit of code it checks to be sure that it's not overlapping each of its hits on you. So it waits like 6 frames before it's allowed to hurt you again. So like if your hurt timer has not ticked up to 6 frames, it's not gonna try to hit you again if you're within range. This is how Freedom Planet does it, because it would just be ruthlessly.
All right.
It'd be funny though.
Oh, that is much better. Yes, excellent, perfect. Wow, that's fun. It's moving, it's gonna be weird. Okay, now the only thing left to do is to make it move around. We need to give it its wheels a purpose. And, of course, make its animation system work, too. Because, yeah, it's not animating correctly yet, so... In fact, I don't think I have an animation system proper in this thing, so... Let's go to the fire spitter, which will have, like, the most intelligent code for the job right now. So, yeah. Trigger. Yeah, okay, so the movement code is going to need to be separate from the attack phases, otherwise it will stop moving.
Right.
Although, wouldn't it be ideal if it stopped moving when it does attack? Now that I think about it. Although at the same time, when I did attach the DNA cannon to a moving platform, all of the particles moved relative to exactly the positions it should have, so it should be fine. And it did that to a fault, so like the beam can go up and down with the DNA cannon as it's swinging, and it looks so strange. I left it like that because it was just so funny. I can't wait for that to disturb people for the first time. Like, okay, I didn't know you could do that. So, check the flip and gems. Okay, so... trying to remember why I needed freeze logic in the first place. Oh yeah, like the DNA cannon is separate from the instance activation and inactivation code, so it has to keep up with when it needs to freeze itself. This will be a good starting position for the floor code. So this also means I'll probably need to make like a center sprite while it's rotating, because this will look funny. But for now, like, we can keep it pretty simple. So, sideways collisions, direction switching tiles, floor collisions, flat surface collisions, sloped collisions. Then it has a turning system. The basic gravity system, which we don't need to copy because it's already got that. Wait, that means I don't need to copy the slope code because the DNA canon does have that at least. So yeah, oh yeah, with that in mind, what I need to be looking for instead is just to give it movement code and some wall sensors. That'd be about it. Floor center,
Cool.
sideways collisions, and there. So we have this thing here. Listen to me talk all professional about this nonsense. So, yeah. Yeah, we do want it to check for sideways collisions a little above the floor position. We'll do it at the same position as the fire spitter, because otherwise, like, it'll completely miss certain shallow wall tiles, and we don't want that. So, X, okay. Yeah. It has lots of stuff that will turn it around. Now, this also means that the code that this thing has for turning to face the player is probably not necessary anymore. That will make it even more fair, because, like, it's not trying to kill you insofar as aiming towards you anyway. Let's see if we can fix that real quick. Oh yeah, that's going to be in its additional states down here in the animation loop. Yeah, it waits about a little over 2 seconds to decide whether or not it's going to turn around and face the player. We can get rid of that now. The only thing that matters is that the bullets go in the right direction when it fires. That's about it. So, yeah. We have sideways collisions here. Directional switching. And now we need... Okay, it's a good thing I cut down the number of particles that it controls, because yeah, it's going to have a lot more tile sensors, and any little tiny way I could compensate for all these extra checks isn't a bad idea. Oh yeah, that's another thing it didn't have, was an edge check. So we have this. Plus Y. Okay, this will turn around if there are no floors ahead of it. It simply can't detect anything, it'll just turn around. This system kind of works, but it still has its faults. That's why I included a directional shifting tile, so you could help compensate for areas they're not smart enough to figure out themselves. Artificial intelligence only can go so far in games like this, so. Oh yeah, I also checked the angle. Because, like, if the angle is greater than 45 degrees, the character needs to turn around as well. So, after this point, I have edge detection. And then, while we're still colliding with the tile, we also check if we need to turn around based on the angle. Oh yeah, I'm not getting the angle. Am I? Let's fix that. Won't do us any good if the angle stays at 0. Clip, tile asset, tile position, okay. Then, okay, gravity systems, same as ever, okay. With that in mind, let's see if it'll behave without crashing. This should be fun. Oh wait, that's right, I don't think I gave it movement code. Don't think I did. So let's look. In the state here. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. If the scale changes, then it needs to stop as well, so that the player can pick it up. Yeah, because if it just keeps moving while you're trying to pick it up, that's not going to help you at all. There's lots of little things enemies in this game have to consider than in Freedom Planet 1, just because of the fact they're attached to an editor that's live within the game itself, and things get a little tricky.
Yeah.
As long as the scale remains 1.
Speaking of tricky, I'm having a hard time talking.
Yeah, I can tell you've been very quiet.
It's almost 3 a.m. now, so yeah.
Well.
I did find a thing in that's wrong with your most recently implemented thing, so
Please put it on GitHub. I lose track of everything else in the chat. So
I already have. chat is definitely like I usually upload it in the chat anyway because give files 10 megabyte files. Oh,
Oh, that's plenty annoying enough without even. Oh, well, it needs to stop moving. It's gonna do it.
Really.
that was fun.
Oh, we head now?
Thank you for the support. Yeah,
Oh.
meh.
Have good sleep.
Have
Yeah.
a good night, you both of you.
Oh.
Remember to, I don't know, eat, sleep good, and have a good work day all week, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope it's good. Prospects don't look or sound nice so far. Oh, wow. The gravity system is not playing nice with this yet. Whoops. But it is going up slopes, that's good.
Alright.
Yeah, it's down slopes where it's so high.
Yeah, that's where it's getting down.
Alright. Yeah, good night.
Oh, good
Bye
night.
bye.
Good night.
Okay.
And then there were two.
Okay. I need to fix the gravity system disabling itself when it... yeah, that should be simple, because I think... Okay.
I think it's gonna like start briefly hovering when it tries to go downwards.
Yeah. Oh, there's the problem. Like, it should only be confirming that it detected the slope. And then, if it found one, it does this. That way it's easier for it to let go later when it's time. So, and it also keeps it clipped to the floor. That's very important. So, just asking that one question makes all the difference. If this works, I'll make the animation system for this thing, and that should complete the object. That should do it. A whole new enemy made live on stream.
Hell yeah.
I also need to tell it to stop moving when it's dead, so let's look at that real quick. Okay, so if the scale equals 1 and...
Stop running around. You're dead.
Yeah. I also need to implement the saving algorithm too. Fortunately, people won't need to convert the map, so we'll just replay it. It'll just be a new thing that will load in. I mean, with a new... Spitter.
I said that would be pretty. It would work for a racing type level, like you have to race the enemy.
Okay, there we go. Okay, come on. See it. Because we don't need a kamikaze here. Right, so if its health drops below 0, it should stop moving. Now we need that animation system. And we should be good. So... needs... Okay, yeah. For some reason when I saw its head again, I thought of, like, the Pixar lamp. I don't know why.
Hey, what?
For some reason, I thought of the Pixar lamp when I saw its head. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, I can kind of see that. The front part is very glowy.
See, so... Right. I will need... I'll probably animate it based on state. So... in this case... while it's not... firing anything... Oh, this is a little weird. Okay, so yeah, the animations are being stupid right now. I'm gonna make this little system separate from the real animation, so... let's see, so... set frame equals 0. And that will be the frame we're looking for. Ghost, sprite index, subframe, okay, now it won't be in conflict any of this code. Blows up, I'll just have it set the subframe to 0. So, enemy scale, art, directional switching. Okay. Okay, so probably do this based on timers, so like, okay, if being 0, then subframe plus 5, and if it's greater than 2.8, it'll reset 0. Okay, then yeah, that's how GameMaker's animation system works. Like, it doesn't completely move into the next frame until like you hit 3.0, so So like if you're on frame 2, all the decimal points leading up to 3 is still going to count as the second frame. So if you just like try to end the animation as soon as it gets to the second frame, you'll almost never see it, and the animation will look janky. It's a little funny. I had to figure that out the hard way, obviously. Yeah, it's okay, so.
I never do that myself.
Ouch. Yeah, Game Maker's like pretty simple, but there are lots of little things it doesn't teach you that you'll run into and hit. Just
I'm assuming 2 has that degree as well, because that's the one I use.
yeah, it's gonna be mostly the same because like
Or rather,
Game Maker Studio 2 is the same deal but better, a lot better in a lot of ways. But the core of it's still the same old funny Game Maker I've been using since before you were born. Ain't that something to think about? Spooky.
I legitimately don't know how to. I really don't know how to think about that.
I don't either. It scares me. Okay, so. Okay, we've got this. Then if. Equals 1. Plus. This is a little redundant, but I just want to be sure it works first. Okay, if it's greater than. Then 5.8, then that needs to be equal to 3. Or even if it's less than 3, make it 3. That way, if the animation, for whatever reason, in any edge case needed to catch up, it would do it. So, also, need some parentheses so it's a little bit more readable. And yeah, that's the warm-up. Yeah, then if the timer is equal at this point, then yeah, it needs to start going crazy here.
Bleh.
Oh, what is
Sorry,
it?
my brain right now is just like, how do I pencil art?
Oh. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about the warm-up phase of the animation, because, like, that doesn't look good yet anyway. I just need it to animate in a way that's readable. Also need to make the animation a bit more lively. I think the creature would be more believable if it kind of bobbed up and down a little bit as it was moving on this one wheel. So if this animation system works, we'll get started on that. Oh, stop moving altogether. How nice. Why did you do that? Oh. Used the wrong operator again. It's always that simple. It hurts. You'd think for as long as I've been using Game Maker, I would not be making mistakes like that at my age. think. There we go. Yeah, it definitely needs to communicate with that grid coming up. The timing system here. So like using the actual timer for this stuff. Okay, that's nice. It doesn't have an attack state, so I can depend on this code to keep running regardless of what happens. So, like... the timer is less than 140. And... greater than 140. But less than 70. If timer greater than equal to 170. Now there's no point where it would stop animating, so just have the iteration up here. That's much more efficient. And so let's pull out its animation again. Six and 8. There we go. Yeah, that would be funny. Give it some... okay, subframe, sub-angle. Here we go. I may use lerp to control that. Make it nice and smooth. But it might look more amusing and stupid if I just did it here. So we'll have sub-angle lerp between these values. No, that's not going to be good for bouncing between angles, so what I could do is have let's see here. Okay, yeah, we can close Fire Spitter. Okay, so sub-direction. Okay, and so if sub-angle lower than 8. And subdirection is 1. Let's see if that works. Let's go to the sprites again. Oh, perfect. The angle variable was never used for anything. I mean, the angle parameter, rather. And rectangle. Drop bullet. Explosion. Inverted. So that'll help me be sure I don't get this wrong. All right. Now maybe we can get a little silly here, just a little. All depends on if I can use a negative angle or not. I think I can, it's just a bit more difficult to debug if try to get anything out of it. Let's see.
And I'm watching.
I made a typo. It was like, what's time? I forgot one. Of course, it was one letter off.
Dead.
Timer. Okay. Now, if I want to make that extra silly, I can also have an accelerator that wobbles between different values as well. So, sub wobble to 0. Let's get crazy with this. Plus equals subdirection. No, we need it to accelerate by a very tiny fraction times the subdirection. That way, as the thing is rotating, it's gonna like make the value go backwards or forwards as needed and further accelerate it. And the sub angle will equal that plus the sub wobble. Put this like a subframe ahead of all that, so it doesn't get results that are a frame late. And yeah, this might get a little rubbery if I made the acceleration rate too fast. I'm expecting that to happen. Yep. It's rocking a little bit more vigorously now. Oh my god. They've done it, folks. They've got the artist in the game.
It really is baby.
Look at it. Look at this thing.
I love it.
I love it. Everyone else will hate it, but I will love it. It's my favorite. Mine rockets, baby. It's his idea. Brought to life, and you gave me the idea. A unicycle. No.
I guess.
Oh my god. I'm gonna see how silly
I guess it's sort of cousin
Oh, what'd you say?
or the uncle.
The Godfather? I don't know.
I guess you consider me the uncle. I don't know.
Let her go. Oh my god. She's perfect.
Oh, she's on her little journey.
Probably the dumbest part is that this thing can't hurt you while it's going so I would have to make it rotate along with the angle of the slope. And this thing can move the angle of... Oh! I could make it sprite rotate with that.
Oh,
The only thing I can't do though is like... I don't know how to make the hitbox rotate with the... And, oh yeah, that's right, we need to make the particles a lot more than they do. A lot more. Okay, so... Yeah, okay. Now, let's get these little doohickeys. They don't have enough transition frames, I think. It would look a lot more intimidating if it was smoother. So let's fix that. Just progressively. I'm gonna make this thing terrible. Truly, utterly terrible. All I have to do is complete the waveform of the particles and we are golden. So, here. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, so... Oh yeah, that's looking a lot better already. Oh, whoops. Copy. Oh, well, we don't need to. That's already one step ahead. So... I thought of something to make this creature even more cursed.
oh god, what is it?
putting a pupil in the middle of this. Just give
Oh! Just give it a straight up an eye.
Oh boy. It is going to be so cursed.
Judging for the stream, that is very cursed. Like,
It sees
oh
you.
god.
The particles are homing in. Be careful. Oh, whoops. So. Okay, I got a duplicate frame. Whoops. Okay. So. Oh, it's ridiculously smooth. Okay, so
Oh. Oh.
perfectly evil. Now I need to look at its animation loop real quick and wherever the animation code for these things are. So, oh, here we go. Yeah. So, 7.5. So, it's 8 frames, but thanks to 0, counts up to 7. So, yeah, we've got that. Now, if that works, we're going to make the each individual thing wobble in a funny way, if I can help it. I should be able to do it with a random pattern. Because, like, this thing is going to be somewhat random. Okay. The character's texture page is going to need a second to recompile. While I'm at it, I could make a section in the saving algorithm for this creature. So, object RNA canon. Then its value will be 268. No, it's already loaded. Let's see what it looks like. Oh wow, that is ridiculously smooth. And
Definitely brings out a creepy vibe, you know, after seeing Freedom Planet.
some people are probably gonna look at its eyeballs. Oh, this is just Deadpool, isn't it? But yeah.
I see Deadpool. Oh, that's
Yeah, I need to have a system where, like, each one of those things has a, here we go. Go ahead and get this in the saving algorithm before I forget. Object, canon. Then I carry that over to the loading definition table that the player object uses. So now we have a reference in here for both. So yeah, now you can make maps with this thing. And its spawn. So let's figure out what I can do to offset the Y position. What I might need to do is like no. This is going to be a little tricky. I'm having to do it all in a loop because it would drive me nuts otherwise. But I only have 15 of these things. So, I could be really dumb and have no. Could do yeah, given the thing that this will behave differently from the DNA cannon, and we won't need its particles to follow its exact Y position, I don't guess, then we could have its Y position vary based on some circumstances here. So like yeah, I do want it to be somewhat random. Plus a random range. It's like a random range of about 12. And I'll break it up into different groups so that it's like they're all somewhat unpredictable. Although I'm very curious just to see what will happen if I leave this on as is. Just the sheer chaoticness of it might be interesting enough. Although if I really wanted to, I could take advantage of that trigonomic thing that Scoodle's linked at some point and have it apply to these particles. Oh, that shooting out of massive stuff. I think I need to have those particles animate twice as fast now. That's going to be important. Animate. So yeah, the animations are handled down here somewhere. Might need to go about 35. units per frame. Let's see about that. Okay.
best possible scenario.
I could see a lot going for this thing now. I need to see how it's Oh, that's right. I was dumb enough to not give the DNA cannon a start point, because, yeah, it just never occurred to me. Okay. Okay, so we do have them. They're just not being used. So return to the start position. At least when in editor mode. That should do the trick. Oh, I don't need it to spawn a DNA cannon base upon destruction. Thank heavens. Ain't that nice? Okay. There we have it. Okay. Now I just need to make these objects capture it. So bullfrag. There we go. Yeah, there aren't that many enemies I can capture, so still a pretty small thing. I need to put that in a case statement of each of the 4 objects. Oh, whoops. Yeah, no offset. That was dumb. Got this creature here. Okay, after I get this sorted out, the enemy should be pretty much ready. The only thing I'd want to tweak beyond that is just getting the waveform to be less wobbly, because it's not supposed to behave that way. After that, though, it's pretty much ready for prime time. And we'll improve it with future updates. Okay, platform half circle. So now, let's see if moving platforms can capture it correctly. I may have gotten the offset wrong, but should be fine other than that.
Oh Christ! I just watched you play these on platforms and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah. Something went wrong. Oh. Well, there's the problem with this one, at least. It didn't attach entirely. It just went to the ceiling of the room and died, I guess. So now... set this to 8. 8. 8. And 8. So... okay. That ought to do it. Let's just double check. And we should have a new enemy for you guys to play with later tonight. I just want to make a few more bug fixes and things to pack along with it. Let's see. Now let's have some fun dropping these things again. That's too high. Now let's see how it works. Perfect. 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 Wibbly wobbly. By golly. It's interesting to me that I no longer made the projectiles stay perfectly in sync with the RNA cannon's Y position, and yet, like, the particles shoot out so fast that they still come out in a relatively consistent manner. Okay, so... oh boy. Poor baby. Just sinking to its demise. I'm trying to remember if these things blow up when they hit the bottom or not. Oh, no they don't. Uh-oh. That is no good. Okay, so there's that. Okay. We have a silly new enemy for the game. Not quite as important as new tile sets, but hey, we got something new to play with. So... what to do next? Now that we've got this little fella in the game. Okay, let's save the canvas, close that one. Yep, and there's the progress I made on Shang City West Day earlier today. Obviously the dark contrast colors have to go, but I probably will do that in post. Like, just do a color replace and see what looks best. could I do next? Oh yeah, new tile sets. I'm talking about that all night and haven't committed to it. So, hmm. Let me think about that. Oh, I've been streaming for God knows how long now. I think for the moment I'm going to call it here. I feel like I had a pretty productive day. We made an entirely new enemy, made some progress on the day, made a little more progress on the Star Marine. It's got a whole new pose. And yeah, pretty good progress for now. I'll probably do more in a later stream. In the meantime, I appreciate all of you coming and look forward to doing this again as soon as my work schedule allows it. Bye for now.
Hey.